Yeah. Sasha Banks versus Io Shirai. The main event of the first night of the Great American Bash event, and as part of the big war of NEW versus NXT Wednesday nights. And this is the thing that I love about the Wednesday Night War. Granted, maybe at best it's time that both shows, either one of the shows, go to a different night in order to capitalize on maximum viewership or, in my humble opinion, the Nelson rating reforms because it's not including DVR and streaming viewership. So if they add that feature, then I'm pretty sure the viewership would be much higher. At least I hope, because God knows I refuse to acknowledge Raw and SmackDown are being better viewership because of their nostalgic-based audience. But I digress. So Sasha Banks and Io Shirai had this match in mind for each other for a while. So they were teasing this whole thing like ever since Banks and Bayley showed up and returned to the Black and Gold brand 2 weeks prior, before their match, where they successfully defended the tag team titles against Tegan Nox and Blackheart. Shirai offered anything but a warm welcome, clearing the ring of Banks and Bayley with blistering offense. And then Sasha challenged Io Shirai's placement as the new face of NXT, claiming that there would have been no NXT for Shirai to lay claim without the golden role models, because they have a legitimate argument, because every time when you think of women wrestling in NXT, you're mostly thinking of Sasha Banks and Bayley's classic matches. And she challenged Io Shirai to a match and clearly indicated that she wasn't coming alone with Bayley by her side. And Io Shirai accepted the challenge, so much so that saying she was more than happy to oblige, and they were teasing this for weeks. So William Regal finally decided it seems the past and the present are in conflict once again, and the NXT universe will have the pleasure of seeing it happen. It is official. This Wednesday night, on night one of NXT Great American Bash, it will be NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks in a non-title match. And yeah, this was the match people wanted to see, been hyped to see. They want to see the Sasha Banks they know can bring it, whereas in main rosterville it was always a mixed bag on that. But yeah, Sasha Banks and Bayley have been apparently doing their best work together ever since they started really going forward, and their feud got delayed for the 80th time. And now it's like, okay, how do you make this work now? Well, we have the women's tag team titles. We can possibly use that as an extension of their feud. But Bayley will probably have to drop the title eventually to someone if it's not going to be Sasha. So this leads to Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks comes out in a convertible with Sasha's dog Ryu being carried by Bayley. Basically, we're getting nostalgic-based wrestling with Sasha Banks' entrance from TakeOver Brooklyn, the original WrestleMania for the NXT TakeOver, which is impossible somehow. But, yeah, this match, my one regret that this was not a TakeOver match. And the other problem with this match is that, well, it's hard to really do this match justice the way it could have gone, because for one particular reason, everyone's a champion in this match. Sasha is currently poised to fight Asuka for the Raw Women's title at Extreme Rules, the horror show. But then you gotta remember, oh wait, Io Shirai is the NXT Women's Champion, so how is this going to work? You can't have one clean beat the other clean, so you have to have hijinks ensue at the end, which exactly is what happened. But it also gave me the hope that we want Kairi and Asuka and Io Shirai to tear each other apart in the ring one day. Hopefully before Kairi Sane leaves and retires from wrestling altogether, because then I'll be pissed. So the match, I was trying to drown out the NXT artificial crowd, because let's be real, they are not organic crowds in my in my opinion, they're just being told, do this, do this, do this. And then when the pandemic hit them finally, it was like, oh, well, we fucked up big time. We're not going to admit that, but we're going to blame everyone else. So, yeah. It's hard to really... I haven't watched a show from AEW or NXT since before the big Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Before that, I stopped watching all the full wrestling shows. I just started watching it in bits and pieces of matches, mostly cinematic matches. The last match I technically watched was Firefly Funhouse. And then I finally decided to kick back and watch a full show with Double or Nothing, which I thought was a great event. But I still was like, I miss the crowds, but I get why they can't have crowds because the pandemic's still here. Damn it. So I haven't really watched a full show of wrestling since AEW's first lockdown episode. So, yeah. So, Sasha Banks and Io Shirai, they just went out there and tore the house down. You got these big moments going on. Bayley being fun as always, and yet fans are mostly attracted to Bayley because of her behind. Because, of course, I seen that constantly, and I'm laughing my ass off, thinking, oh, God, can we, like, where did this come from? Anyways, I just want to watch wrestling and people beat the living hell out of each other. So Sasha Banks is going ahead and tearing the house down with Io Shirai. Everyone's loving this match. I'm loving the match when I was watching it on the NXT on the network. Luckily, they aired it. And here's the thing. For what I was hearing, this match was given no commercials because the event was entirely limited to commercials, and they made the main event a no commercial event. So they were clearly trying to go all out with the no pun intended, with trying to compete with AEW. Because, and here's the thing, I don't have a problem if NXT and WWE want to admit that, yeah, AEW is kind of in their heads. That's perfectly fine, so long as it leads to great programming. It's the same thing with AEW. AEW loves taking shots at WWE, and they clearly want to bring out the best in them by competing with them every week on Wednesday nights. I'm all for it. I just want the rating system to reflect that truly with DVR and streaming. I'll talk about that in a future video, but yeah, Io Shirai and Sasha Banks, they were killing it in this match. This match was given 14 minutes, wished it was an extra 6 minutes so we could get 20 minutes in total. But yeah, I was like, there was a moment of a botch where there was supposed to be a German where Sasha was supposed to counter a German suplex. Clearly that didn't happen. And yeah, that kind of dragged down the match a little bit. I thought it was a pretty damn good match, and I was like, so when's Asuka gonna show up? And then Bayley has a tug of war going on with the ref. Sasha tries to go for the other title to smash Io Shirai's head in, but Asuka shows up and spits the green mist into Sasha's eyes, which means Bayley is the last horsewoman to not be spit in the face with mist. And then after Io rolls her up for 2. Io gets a moonsault in and ends the match, getting a victory over Sasha Banks, much to the chagrin of the golden role models of Bayley Dos Belts and Sasha Banks. And here's the thing, this actually made sense to me. So yeah, they knew that they couldn't have either one lose clean. They had to have an excuse added to it. But at the same time, then I was thinking to myself, I as much as I love Asuka being women's champion and finally being given the reign she so promptly deserves, I would be kind of awesome to see Sasha win the Raw Women's title for one particular reason. Mainly because I will have nostalgic feeling of the Power Trip era of Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They have the tag team gold. They have the SmackDown Women's title. Now they just need the Raw Women's title, and then they'll have a complete set. And yeah. So, but yeah, this match, oh my god, this match was freaking awesome for me. Yeah, like I said, there was a couple of moments of botching on this, but I was loving how they were interacting with the crowd, with the with the belts and all that, and I love the chemistry that Io and Sasha took. This was their first time matchup, so it was natural some botches were probably going to happen, no matter how much they trained for. But they had chemistry there, and I loved every moment of it. 4 stars. I give it 4 stars. And seeing Asuka and Io Shirai interact is like, oh, come on, we just need Kairi staying there. We need the trifecta of Joshi wrestlers. We need Japanese female wrestlers to be in that ring. I want Kairi, I want Io, I want Asuka to go in that ring, tear the house down, and kick ass along the way. I mean, like, if Charlotte wasn't taking a break, from what I've heard, and Becky wasn't expecting Seth Rollins' kid, I would have hoped they did a 3-on-3 match where it's the Lotus Triad, as some people, the Black Lotus Triad, as some fans love calling them that, and having Sasha, Bayley, and I'll go and say it's Charlotte, because Charlotte has been the constant thorn in Asuka's side for years and years. If they had that, and they had all the titles put on the line, I would love every second of it. So, yeah, that's an awesome dream match they could do. Black Lotus Triad versus Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte, of the 3 of the 4 horsewomen, because all of them are heels except for Becky. So, yeah, that would probably be a freaking awesome matchup. But, yeah, like I said, Io Shirai, Sasha Banks, great main event to close out the Great American Bash Night 1 of the Wednesday Night War. Loved every moment of it. And as much as people were mad about why is this happening, there was, like, Cody didn't have a problem with the Great American Bash being used as an NXT event, because, hey, just bring something good to the table and I'll be accepting of it. So, yeah, those were my thoughts on Sasha Banks versus Io Shirai, NXT Great American Bash Night 1. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.